Hi everybody, welcome to the 12th installment of my videos on fixing my roof. Today it's raining, but I think it might clear up this afternoon when I need to go up on the roof. But this morning what I'm working on is straightening out this panel, not straightening it out, but refashioning the bottom of it so that it'll overlap the panel that's on the roof right now. And I've already done quite a bit of work on it. I'll show you my method. First I'll show you how far I am along. I've taken this raw edge that normally looks like this. It's got that little hook in it that engages the standing rib from the other side. It engages this from the next panel. The problem is I have to overlap my panel, which is this one, with an existing panel. And so that my panel has to be narrower. So what I did is I bent this raw edge up a little bit, but I don't have quite a 90 here, and I need it because I can see that it doesn't quite nest. It needs to stand up at exactly 90 degrees so that it clears this little bump. Now the way I do that is I clamp these steel bars onto the metal that doesn't want to be bent, clamp it on with vice grips and clamps, and then hammer it over. So I'll maybe demonstrate some of that. Okay, here you can see how those clamps or those bars are clamped on. One clamped on the back to keep it flat, the other one clamped on this side to form an edge that I can drive this sheet metal, just bend this over 90 degrees. So I'll be hammering that, but I'm not going to do that on camera. So now, after a lot of loud hammering, I've got this raw edge at 90 degrees sticking up where it's supposed to be. But since it's been moved over a 1/4 inch, and since I took out the kink, it's a lot higher than the other edge, so I made a mark where I'll be cutting that with a tin snip to cut it off at the same height, and then afterwards I'll bend it over to match this sort of. But you can see now they do nest. The top panel will fit inside the bottom one. I didn't show you this side, which earlier I had to cut off part of this overlapping metal that's bent under to grip the next panel. I had to cut that off because it's riding on top of an existing standing rib, and to fit over it I had to cut that off. So this is pretty nearly ready for installing on the roof, except for trimming this, bending it over. So that's what I'll do. Put it on the roof after the sun comes out, and it looks like timing is perfect. Looks like the clouds are kind of moving up the mountain, and I don't think you can see it, but the sun is out. Okay, that raw edge is trimmed and bent up, and so you can see it nests really nicely with the panel on the bottom. And then I bent it over a little bit so that it sort of snuggles with the one underneath, and it'll be close enough so that the standing rib on the next panel will go right over the whole bunch. So it lays nice and flat inside the bottom panel. I think we're almost ready to haul it up on the roof. And to pull it up on the roof, I've got this clamp really tight against this raw edge, so I can put a rope into this clamp and run the rope. I don't know what rope I'll use. I'll pick a long rope, but I'll go up the ladder and pull this panel up with me. But first I'll go up, way up on the roof, and hook a pulley onto the, tie a pulley onto the rope just under the ridge. and then I'll have a rope going up through that pulley and back down and hooked onto this clamp. And that way, as I climb up the roof, I can pull on the rope and keep dragging this panel with me until we both get up to the ridge. And then I'll push the panel over onto the other side of the roof, and then that rope will hold the panel there while I climb over, and then I'll pull the other side of that rope over so that I can use the same rope and pulley to control where the panel is on the other side, so I can raise it up and down. And this end of the panel has to go under the overhanging C-channel, and that's why I have the clamp down a ways, so that this can lay flat on the roof, and then I can shove it up underneath the C-channel without this clamp interfering, and I can pull on the rope and tighten it up and get it in place. And the next thing that has to happen is that this standing rib has to go over the top of the raw edge that's on the existing panel loosely, just so that it's in place. And then I'll take a 2x4 or whatever it takes to drive the panel up underneath the C-channel at the top. When it's all the way to the top, then this should nest with the panel below, and then I'll take a 2x4 and a hammer and hammer down that standing rib all over its length, so that it reaches over and engages the the raw edge below it, and that fastens this side down tight. Then the next step is to put in the screw in the clips that clip over the top of this edge, and finally screw the top of this panel into the roof so that that's what holds it. Then I can release the rope and the clamp, and it'll stay where it's supposed to be. So I won't have any pictures of that action, but that's the next thing I'll be doing. And of course, there's the cabin with the patch on the roof partway done. Got one panel on the roof, as you saw, and I've prepared two more panels so they're flat, straight. One is an unused panel, and the other one I straightened that was damaged before, and I decided that the fourth panel is too much bent to try and salvage, so I'm going to buy a fourth panel. And that way I'll also buy a whole chunk of rake metal, so I won't have to join two pieces for that. So that wraps it up for this week, and as always, thanks for watching.